Welcome to We Are Soccer. Today, I have the pleasure of talking to a young man who has just made his U.S. men's national team debut, and he has been in the MLS for this will be his third year upcoming for the New England Revolution. Please welcome DeJuan Jones. DeJuan, thank you so much for joining us here at We Are Soccer.
Yeah, thanks, Craig, for having me.
Listen, man, let's jump right to it. Let's talk about the debut for the U.S. men's national team, being called into camp, getting ready, and then stepping on the field and representing your country. That's got to be just such a proud moment for you and your family.
Yeah, it was amazing, especially to have my parents there. You know, they traveled from Michigan all the way out to California, so for them to be there made it extra special. But that's something that you dream of as a kid, to represent your country. So yeah, to be out there and repping the red, blue, and white was amazing.
It was awesome to see. And back here in Michigan, I know you're a part of the next level training team, and you've done a lot of work with those guys. They were so proud. I was so proud as a Spartan alum, but I got to be honest, let everybody know that this interview happened, our little connection here, because of next level training and Aaron Bird and Scotty Wright and Renato. And can you just spend a couple of seconds telling us what that crew and that team has meant to you and how they've helped you progress?
Yeah, I think I started training with Aaron and the rest of the crew maybe 3 years ago, maybe four. But yeah, they've been incredible. Every off season they have such a competitive environment. Everyone's training to get better. The standard's so high that Aaron sets, and it makes us raise our standard as players. So everyone's coming in to get better, and that's what we do. The drills that we do, the feedback that you get from Aaron, it's especially in the off season, a lot of guys are resting and we're working hard, gym sessions, 2-3 times a week, as well as soccer, 5 to 6 days a week. It's quite the environment, and super happy that, Aaron allows me to be there and that he runs such a great training for professionals.
Aaron and I were swapping texts when you were playing both of those games, the U.S. men's national team, and man, we were just smiling from ear to ear in the text, and it was great to see. And another person who was there in person, your former coach, Damon Rensing. I bumped into him the other day, and he was so proud. He had such a big smile. It was so fun to talk about you and him being out there and watching. And he's like, I know he's not your dad, but he's a proud dad. He watches these kids grow up under him and tutelage. And Michigan State, you got to miss playing for State, right? The green and white.
Man, the brotherhood we had at Michigan State was something special. I still keep in touch with some of those guys, and man, when we got back together, I think last year, just to hang out again, man, it's like we never skipped a day. Yeah, those I have precious memories for sure at Michigan State, and thanks to Damon and all the assistant coaches who helped me develop. I think that was a big step for me coming out of high school to go play in the Big Ten. Fighting for my position my first year, and continuing to grow. So I think that was like a good step, to my career now.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, former Spartan alum here, 20 years down the road, you'll still be keeping in contact with those guys and the coaches. So trust me, it's a good thing to be part of. It's a good school, as you know. All right, let's jump in and talk about the upcoming season. You kick off the 2023 season here for the MLS New England Revolution in a couple of days. You guys open up at Charlotte. Big stadium, noisy, you were telling me. Are you healthy? Are you looking forward to the upcoming season?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I had a little injury in the preseason, but now I'm feeling sharp, feeling strong, and I'm ready to go. We've had a great week of training. Preseason was good. We learned a lot about ourselves, about our team, and we have a lot of depth, a lot of great young players. So super excited Saturday that we get to showcase, everything that we've been working towards. And yeah, the crowd in Charlotte's going to be electric, especially with the passing of Anton Waltz, one of their players. It's bittersweet. It's sad. So we know that the crowd's going to have a lot of energy for them. So we got to come ready to compete, because we know that they're going to be flying for 90 minutes.
Let me ask you this. For the 23 season here, do you have any personal goals that you're looking forward to achieving, or just trying to stay healthy and do the best you can? Or I always personally had something in mind, like I wanted to achieve X starts, X goals, X assists. Have you got anything in mind, or are you just ready to get down and get to work and go?
Yeah, I mean, definitely have some numbers that I want to hit, but I'm going to keep those to myself right now. I think that, like you said, the biggest thing is working hard each and every day, continuing to get better. One of my short-term goals is to make the national team camp in March. So again, that's just going to take winning soccer. You got to win games, you got to play hard, and and show what I can do. I got to be consistent and just continue to play at a high level. And I think that's what it's going to take to, become a national team regular.
I can't disagree with you. It's consistency, right? It's absolutely consistency and showing up day in, day out. And you're not wrong. Winning soccer puts you on the map, right? If your team's losing every game and you're not helping, no one's going to know about you. But if you're winning and you're showing up and you're being consistent, you'll do the work there and you'll get in. Let me ask you, it's coming up in a couple of weeks. They're going to announce that March roster for those games. I think Grenada and El Salvador is the games coming up in late March for the U.S. men's national team. When do you expect to hear from them? You got to have it, right? This is it. This is your time. I can feel it.
I mean, yeah, I think it's one of those things where you just got to perform. I had good conversations with the assistant coach and head coach Hudson as well, after camp. So those are positive conversations, and they're going to be watching every game. So, like we said, each and every game, especially each and every game day, it's going to be big. They're pretty much all auditions for who's going to be called into that March camp. So, like I said, got to stay consistent. Got to continue to perform at a high level.
Good. One of the things I like to talk to people about is every time they make a jump up a level, the speed of the game goes up. The speed of the athletes, the thinking on the field, the quickness, and everything happens. You've obviously noticed that, obviously from high school to college to the pros, from the pros to the U.S. team. Did you notice it there? Could you tell instantly, like, this game's quicker? You gotta think quicker. You gotta be quicker. Is that something you kind of noticed, or is it pretty much the same as in the MLS?
I think it's completely different. I think when everyone's playing for their country, it's an extra bit of fire, extra bit of speed. Everything just increases. Everyone wants to be part of that national team, on the regular basis. So it's always going to be a tough environment. I would say the physicality goes up as well. The refs let a lot more go. So, like you said, you got to get the ball off your feet, or else you're going to be fouled, and they may not call it, and then you got to just deal with it. So, yeah, the speed of the game increases, and you got to just have your plays ready when you get the ball.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Was the training camp, was it at least enjoyable? It's probably tough, probably a good environment, but it's enjoyable for you to be there amongst that group and kind of get your name out there and known a little bit?
Yeah, it was awesome. They brought in some guys from Europe as well. Just an interesting group, a lot of new faces, including myself. It's not like I'm a regular yet, but it was cool to see all these guys and, being integrated with these top players around the league and around leagues worldwide. Like you said, definitely a competitive environment, but, I think that when you're in tough environments like that, you can only get better and grow from it. So it was good. And yeah, looking forward to more camps in the future.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed, but I have a sneaky suspicion that you'll be on a lot of the camps moving forward. Let me ask you this. Back when you were growing up, did you watch a lot of soccer? Was there a club or a team professional club team that you kind of gravitated towards?
Yeah, I would say so. Back in the day, like, my parents didn't watch soccer that much, and like no one in my family really played except for me. My sister played a little bit, but it wasn't like, oh, we're about to watch this game. But I remember going to my grandparents' house. There was like Comcast Xfinity, and I would watch like La Liga highlights. So I would always see Barcelona, and that's when Messi became my favorite player. Just week in, week out, this guy's just always doing something amazing.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I didn't watch that much soccer growing up, but then I have these memories where I'm like, oh, I remember that goal. I'm like, I remember watching that game. So it's like, did I watch that much soccer? I don't know. Like, I love the game, so I'm sure I turned it on when it was on.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have a team like that growing up. And then in
Right.
high school, I started supporting Manchester United.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, interesting you should say that. Earlier today, both those teams, Barcelona played Manchester United, and
Yep.
Manchester United came out victorious 2-1. And that's the Europa League. They don't meet in the Europa League very often, right? Usually in the Champions League, but it's one of those years.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still following Messi? Still following what he's doing now that he's over in League One in France?
Yeah, I'm following him. I have Fubo TV, so I get to watch his games quite a bit now too.
Nice.
And then, yeah, following Manchester United, probably the closest stuff.
All right. Well, I'll let that one slide. I'm not a Man United fan, but we'll let it go. All right. Let me ask you this. I've seen some highlights, and I kind of watched you play, and I've seen you play on the left. I've seen you play on the right. I've seen you play left fullback, right fullback, wing back. What would you say is your preferred position? Where do you like to be on the field?
I would say left back. Most of my games professionally have been at left back, so I think that's where I'm most comfortable. But I'm naturally right-footed, so I can slide in the right back as well, no problem. So it's nice to have that versatility. but I also like to get forward and get into the attack. I think I have a lot to offer going forward with my creativity and decision making and runs off the ball. So, in the system that we play here at the Revs, the outside backs are very involved in the attack, and he wants us getting in the box for crosses. So, thankfully here I get to, use all my attributes. But yeah, I like to also get forward quite a bit.
That was pretty visible in when you played for the U.S. men's national team a couple of weeks back in those January games. You were getting forward and you were a spark in the second half, man. You came on and you were that spark the team needed, crossing the ball, taking people on, and you don't see people going one-on-one with people these days, with defenders these days. And oh man,
Yeah.
you were after my own heart there. I was loving watching you go one-on-one with those defenders, getting crosses in, and that was the spark they needed in that game, man. I'm telling you, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was talking to one of my teammates recently, another Michigan guy, Brandon By, just
Yep.
like, I'm like, I can't remember the last time someone's tried to take me on 1v1. Like you said, it's like a lost thing in the game. It's runs it behind, it's all these other things, but it's like, man, just the straight 1v1, like, I love it.
Oh man, I'm telling you, do more of that because
Yeah.
you're quick and you've got such quick feet and a brain inside of you that, oh my gosh, I'm telling you right now, man, you're going to stand out in the next year as that one-on-one guy, and it's going to make a big difference.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this. Something I like to ask a lot of the people we interview on the show is, what advice would you give to a 9, 10, 11-year-old kid who's looking to get to the level that you're at? He's 9, he's 10, she is 11 years old, whatever it is. These players look up to you now. What's something you would tell them to help them progress in their career?
Yeah, I would say most importantly, you got to enjoy. Also, like when you're young, I think it's nice to, yeah, you want to focus on soccer, but also like for me, I play a lot of other sports. So I think it's fun to, see other sports, and like for me, cross country, basketball. Like I feel like these sports have helped me in soccer. In basketball, it's like see the man, see the ball. So like now as a defender, it's like, whew, I got both. And then cross country, just getting all those miles under my belt as a middle schooler, and just being able to run distances. I feel like that's helped my stamina, and just, mentally, it's like I know I can run, the whole game, no problem. But I would also say you got to work on your mental game. I think the mental game is a big piece of it. So I think that's the biggest thing for that is confidence. And I think for confidence, it's competence creates confidence. So you got to drill the fundamentals, get everything sharp as you can, never get tired of just passing the ball, receiving the ball. Like that's the action that's going to happen the most in games and practice, like when you're playing the game. So just don't get tired of the fundamentals. And I think once you have that confidence in yourself that you can do it, I think that's going to take you a while, take you a good way, but you got to have that confidence, because without it, it's going to be tough to continue to advance, especially when you're playing against other top players.
Right. I absolutely love that advice. Have the confidence, have the discipline, but also get out there and do other sports so it can better you in this sport, right? If you want to move forward. That is some awesome advice for some young kids. And we got a lot of young kids who watch our show, so I'm sure they'll take that advice. I heard you in an interview the other day saying one of your career goals is to get over to Europe at some point. I'm sure you try not to look into that too much. I'm sure you try not to focus that and just do the best you can. But still, that is one of the goals, right? To get there and maybe play in one of those top leagues.
Definitely the goal. But again, that's just like the same with the national team. It's got to be consistency. It's got to be week in, week out, putting in top performances, and like I said, winning soccer. If you're the interest starts to fade away if your team's not making the playoffs, if you're not, one of those top teams in the league. So, it always goes back to the team. You always have to put the team first, and for winning games, I think that's just going to help everyone.
All right. 2 more quick questions from me. 1, who's the toughest player you've played against? Who's that name that you're like, I don't want to play against him. He is really good, really tough. I do not enjoy it. Who's that one player?
Man. Last year, I would say Chicharito. I feel like he just worked so hard. Like I remember, I think 2 years ago we played in the preseason. He was going so hard. When my teammates like, "Hey, calm down." He goes, "What do you mean calm down? It's a game. It's a game." So he's just always like, at his highest level, always ready to compete. Which is, as a competitor, you have to respect it.
Yeah.
And I think he got a goal and assist against us last year. he's just such a smart player. You know, he's got a lot of experience in Europe and
Yeah.
winning big trophies. So I think he's a guy that's, you know, it's going to be a handful for sure.
That's an awesome answer, man. That is not one I thought coming, but you're right. He does work hard on the field. He's such a smart player. He's an older guy now, right? He's kind of a senior level player in the league. Still gets the job done scoring goals. It's because of his brain.
Yeah.
All right. Last one for you. When are you going to be back in town here in Michigan? And I'm assuming you're going to be coming over and training with Next Level Training again, right?
For sure. So that would definitely be in the off season. You know, with MLS season, I'm usually home depending on when the finals are this year, like definitely for most of December and then maybe end of November. Again, I don't know when the finals are this year, but yeah, that's when I'll be home and you know, I'll be back with Next Level Training, you know, getting ready for the next season.
Awesome.
But I may be able to make it home in the summer if we get some type of break just to see my family and get back to Michigan State, get back to Lansing.
Exactly. Awesome, man. Well, I hope to see you back in town if you do get a little bit of a break, but if not, we'll catch up with you next time you are in town. Listen, it has been my pleasure to talk to you. It has been so fun. We're going to watch throughout this year. I know you are going to kill it this year. You're going to be in that next camp. You're going to be representing the U.S. men's national team again, and I'm looking forward to you having a great year, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, DeJuan.